Socialism explained to the sports fan who loves capitalism. Imagine you got some sport. Pick your favorite sport. I don't care. And you've got a bunch of teams that all play each other, compete to win not just each game, but the whole season and win the championship and whatever. Now, in order to recruit players, employ trainers, buy equipment, they got to spend money. So starting out, everybody's got roughly the same money in the pool. One team wins the championship. Because they win the championship, they get a little bit more money. So next year, they got a little bit of advantage. So they keep going. And year after year, eventually, we come to the point where a few teams dominate. They have more money than anybody else. And then those teams are always the ones in the championship. Games become a little less interesting. You always know, like you root for the underdog, but you always know that in the end, it's going to be this handful of teams. And it keeps going until it's down to just two. All the other teams in the league are so thoroughly dominated, they can't compete. No matter what they do, they always lose. The winning teams, they can recruit the best players, and the losing teams can't recruit good players. They can't pay for good trainers, so they continue to fall further and further behind until eventually one team is the ultimate winner. They win year in, year out, game in, game out, completely undefeated, never changing. No one wants to watch the sport. People stop playing the sport. There's fewer and fewer athletes to recruit because kids don't grow up wanting to be part of this. It's boring. It's no fun. A more realistic situation where you've got this sport and there are spending caps on how much any team can spend, whether it's recruiting their players, building their arenas, their training facilities, all this stuff. There's just a total cap on what they're not allowed to spend more than that. And all teams are roughly equal. Some teams, every year, a team might get a bonus for winning a championship or something like that, but there's an upper limit that they can't go past. Year in, year out, teams have an equal ability to recruit good players. Maybe if they were really winning that year, they may get, a better chance next year. The NFL draft does this, where the lower your ranking are, the earlier you get to make a choice in the draft. I think baseball does this. I'm not a huge sports fan, so I think baseball does this because they limit how much certain teams can spend because they make so much more money because of the area of the country they're in than other teams. F1 does this. There's a spending cap on everything for F1, and it keeps it competitive. Now, according to capitalists, in this situation, people would stop working. If you say everybody's equal and there's a spending cap and you can't be more competitive at a certain level. If you look at things like F1, when they have caps, they have rules that limit certain things. The engineers get really creative. They find ways to make those cars go faster, to perform better in spite of the restrictions. The restrictions actually inspire them to do better. People keep coming to the sport. It's still exciting. It's fun. They don't know who's going to win. They don't know what's going to happen. It's not a foregone conclusion. That's socialism. Today, we're seeing in the world capitalism. It's called end-stage capitalism, where the money is so concentrated in such a small group of people that for the rest of us, it's no fun. We don't want to play. Why bother? And that's a lot of desperation and anxiety we're seeing in the world today. Socialism, which a lot of people don't understand, is simply saying, at a certain point, you've made enough. You don't need to have everything in the world. You don't need to own the entire world and force everyone else to pay you for it. You've got plenty. We all should be, to a certain extent, equal on a certain level playing field. Things like universal healthcare, public education, that's worth a damn. Fire departments, police departments, public roads, public parks, basic housing, food security. These are the things that we talk about when we talk about socialism. And it is not the same thing as democracy. Democracy is a political system. Socialism is an economic system. So the two are not opposed. And if you believe that they're opposed, you need to go back, crack a few books. And I'm not saying it to be insulting. I mean, seriously, they are not the same thing. Socialism and capitalism are economic systems. Democracy, authoritarianism, fascism, those are political systems. Now, the two do intertwine. Political decisions, political choices impact the economic system. And in the case of our current democracy, where money is considered speech, the economic system is impacting the political system, but it shouldn't work that way. We're seeing the results of when it does work that way. Basic explanation of socialism and capitalism, how they interact. And hopefully, I think people can begin to understand why it's so important and why capitalism is so damaging. Because ultimately, we're reaching the point where no one wants to play the game because we cannot win. It's rigged. Peace out. Hope that gave you something to think about.